All right, well, welcome, folks, to our African American Legends of Cayce 2026. My name is Andy Thomas. I'm the curator at the Cayce Historical Museum, and we're glad to have you join us tonight. We've got a couple of introductions we want to make, and recognize some folks that are here. The mayor of Cayce is here, Elise Martin. Byron Thomas, one of our council members, is here. I did see Miss Tiffany All here earlier. I'm not sure where she went, but we also have some folks from our historical commission, the Cayce Historical Commission. We have Keith Stevenson. We have James Stewart. Pamela Sultan, Charlita Earl, and I think that's all. I have a staff member here. Her name is Elizabeth Lunston. And then we have our African American committee members. We have Yvonne Smith, who's the chairperson, Pamela Sultan, Charlita Earl, and Ivan Earl. So let's all give them a great big round of applause. Thank y'all. Now, the Cayce Mayor, Elise Parton, has some words of wisdom for us, so we turn it over to her.
Thank you, Andy. I don't know about wisdom, but hopefully some words of welcome and excitement about gathering together. The folks that put this on every year do a great service to our city because they tell your story and they help us to know about your impact on the city and what you've done in this world. And that matters to all of us because you all have and are doing amazing things that make a difference for our city, that make a difference for your neighbors. It makes a difference for me. It's important for us to remember that the Cayce doesn't just have a museum, it has a great small museum. Cities our size don't typically have their own museum, but we not only have one, we have a great one. But years ago, there was no diversity on the leadership in that museum, and we weren't telling all of the stories. And many of you know our longest serving council member, Skip Jenkins, our former mayor pro tem. He and I worked together side by side for a very long time to make sure that we had folks that were on that museum commission that were wanting to tell the whole story. And thanks to Andy and Elizabeth and the work that they do every day to make sure that we are doing that and that we are providing opportunities, not just for this generation, but for the next generation to learn about your contribution and all of the things that you do in our city. It is such an honor to get to be with you and to get to celebrate you tonight. So thank you so much for all that you've done.
And on that note, I'll just tell you a little bit about our museum if you haven't been. Our museum, like she said, is a small museum, but we tell a good story of our community going back to Native American times. We tell the story of the colonial period, the antebellum, through the Civil War, and then into the 20th and 21st century. And we have an exhibit there that was from our first African American legends. So we have some great artifacts, and we'd love you to come in and take a look at those. And we do programming at the museum. We just did a workshop on the Catawba pottery. We have a workshop coming up on April the 21st. It's going to be on gardening. The Herb Bunch are coming over. Miss Sultan is going to be part of that. She's got a presentation she's going to be doing with that. So at 6 o'clock, and we would love to have y'all come out. I think I said April, but it's May 21st. So so we do programming. We've got social media, Facebook and Instagram. If you go back, you can go to February, our Black History Month, where we honor our legends. You can go back several years now, 6 or 7 years of legends in there. So, you know, you can find that if you go to our social media. And our museum has very small cost. It's $3 for adults, $2 for seniors, and $1 for children 12 and under. And we are open on Tuesday through Friday from 9 to 4, and on Saturdays from 10 to 2. And so come out and see us at the Cayce Museum. We'd love to have you. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the chairperson of our African American Committee, a dear friend of mine who has really kind of spearheaded the effort on this program that we do every year, and that is Yvonne Smith. Thank you, Yvonne.
Good evening. Thank everyone for coming in. Just wait for him to pull up the first. Okay, our first legend for tonight is Miss Laureen Young Mickens. She's Cayce resident, has worked a variety of jobs, mostly in the medical field. Starting out as a babysitter, she has always been interested in taking care of others. She began working at a Richland Memorial Hospital in October 1973 after taking a nurse's aide course at Midlands Tech. She has worked many nursing homes and facilities throughout the years and was a prior-duty nurse for Miss South Carolina Kimberly Aiken's father. Although she dropped out of school at 16, she returned in 1984 to get her GED, graduating 3 weeks after one of her sons. Her one regret has been that she did not complete the program to be a licensed nurse. At Baptist, she was the first Black technician trained to be supervisor of supplies in the position of intern manager. She is the mother of two sons. One has passed, and 2 daughters, and married James Mickens in 1993. She was an usher and member of Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, and later joined Full Gospel Church, and has been an evangelist for 35 years. She still volunteers every Monday at the South Carolina Oncology Associates on Greystone, and assisted in the care of 2 of our past Cayce legends prior to their death, Miss Zenobia Glover and Miss Inez Smith. She is always checking on members of the community, which she loves, and has always had a caring heart. Amen.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? Those who don't know me, my name is Ivan Earl, right out of Cayce, South Carolina. And I'm here today to speak about Miss Helen Aiken on the screen up here. Miss Helen Aiken, who grew up in a Christian home, attended Mount Zion Church many years. She recently began fellowship at Living Water Christian Center Church under the leadership of her great-nephew, Reverend Dr. D'Angelo Coakley. She received her education from Cayce Grammar School, Lakeview High School, and graduated from Benedict College in 1959. As a believer in supporting families, she often helped her mother, the late Miss Inez Smith, run the family business, Smith Daycare in Cayce. Her love of children led her to teaching elementary education in Anderson, South Carolina public school for 31 years. She was blessed with one son, the late Keith Smith. Nowadays, you'll find Miss Helen still reading and chatting on the phone with her family and friends. She can be heard bragging about her two nieces, Yolanda Livingston and Tanya Brenfield, along with her wonderful caretaker, Angelo and Jeanette Coakley. Ms. Helen believes that if you treat people the way you want to be treated, you have a great life. Yeah. Give it up for Ms. Helen Aiken.
We all know that's not Miss Helen, right?
Our next nominee, Mr. Angelo Coakley. Andrew Coakley, the youngest son of 11, was born in Cayce, South Carolina. Under his parents, he devoted his deep respect for God and authority figures. At an early age, as a teenager, he repaired bicycles and helped his father lay bricks. He attended Brooklyn Cayce High School and graduated in 1981 from Brooklyn Cayce High School. As a member of the varsity football and wrestling team, he demonstrated his commitment to athletics, as well as his role as a student bus driver. After graduating, he enrolled in Midland Technical College while working as the head table man at Owens Joyce Steel Plant. After enrolling in a professional commercial driving program and receiving his commercial driving license, he worked for the Capital City Manufacturing and then transitioned to a driver trained for J.B. Hunt. He drove trucks for a period and later became a salesperson for RNDC. He later decided to work for himself. In 1988, he met the love of his life, Jeanette Denise Felder, who he married in 1993, and they were blessed with 3 children. Angelo is a member of Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church for many years and remained the leader of the Mount Zion Men Chorus. He is presently the head trustee and lead of the men's choir and a board member at Living Water Christian Church Center. He enjoyed working as an assistant manager at Pioneer Water Apartments and spend time with his 9 grandchildren. Angelo Coakley, can you give him a round of applause, please? Next awardee is Dr. Rudolph Wise. Dr. Rudolph Laverne Wise grew up in Cayce community and attended Cayce Elementary School, Lakeview High School, and graduated from Airport High School in 1969. He graduated from the University of South Carolina with a BS degree major in chemistry. He graduated from the Medical University of South Carolina with his medical degree, and resident training was completed at USC School of Medicine. Internal medicine and his fellow training in medical chemistry was completed at the Brooke Army Medical Center, Fort Sam, Houston, Texas. He's board certified in internal medicine and medical. He presently is a physician partner with South Carolina Association of the Columbia and hold a membership with several national professional organizations. Dr. White is married to Colise Jane March of Columbia, and they have a son, Rudolph Jr. Dr. Wise wouldn't be able to be here tonight, but we will make sure he gets his plaque. Thank y'all very much.
Good evening. Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, located at 1804 Wilkinson Street, Cayce, had its humble beginnings in a bush arbor in Lexington County off Highway 215 on George Taylor's Place. Its history dates to the early 1900s, over 100 years ago. The date and whereabouts of the first physical structure is unknown. However, at some point in time, a church building was located on Middle Street in Cayce. Many have said that the church was rolled to its current location on logs at 1804 Wilkinson Street. The first pastor was Reverend Charles Young. The church has been under the leadership of 9 pastors since then, with the current pastor being Reverend Danny C. Swilly. So do we have a representative from Mount Pleasant Baptist Church?
Good afternoon, everyone. The person that I'm speaking of, this is my mother-in-law, but this particular person is one of the roots of Cayce. She's been here a very long time, and she raised her children here. Annie Mae Williams Sultan. She was raised in Cayce. She was the proud owner and operator of Annie's Candy Shop in Cayce. How many people went to the candy shop? How many people? Put your hand up. Yes. You know, that was before we had these candy shops we could go to. And Miss Annie had her business license and actually was there giving that service to us. We had another legend, which was her husband, which is my father-in-law, Booker T. Sultan. He was another legend. He passed in 2015 at 94 years old. So this is a family that just believed in community. They had a business that was here. What Mr. Sultan did was he added a place onto their home in the back. And the candy store was there for 25 years. But you know why he added that? Because they owned a recreational area further in the state, further down. It's still in Kershaw, am I right? Calhoun, in Calhoun County. And at that recreational center, they would actually, only during the summer months. Now, how many of us could go to Sesqui? How many of us could go and fish and hunt? They owned the Sultan's Pond. And that pond, after things were sold for the summertime, Miss Annie started her candy shop. Now, is that not how you make business work? That's how you make business work. You're listening to what we're talking about, and we're talking about, we have to tell young people, use what you got, and keep using what you got, and do it in a family way. So she had her candy shop. She operated it for 25 years as Miss Annie, the candy lady. The customers enjoyed the fact that she had a commercial grade iceberg slushy machine. A lot of people didn't have that. And she had soft ice cream. And so just think, just to say, I'm just not just doing this, but I'm doing it for the betterment of the community. Annie and Booker T. Sultan were married for 72 years. That's a long time. That's a long time. My husband is here. We're gonna try to make it 72. We're gonna try. She also was a caregiver for some of the children in the local area. There are a lot of children that Miss Annie, we didn't have the nurseries, this and that, but we had Miss Annie. Miss Annie, you bring her there, she'd have those biscuits and she'd feed them, and those children to this day remembers Miss Annie, not just as a candy lady, but as a grandmother, a mother, an auntie. All of that made a difference. I'd like to thank the family members who put this together. Now, this is coming from their family, and I am a part of their family, but I'm a new part of their family. I just want to make sure that you realize that Miss Annie was, in her younger days, she went to New Life Baptist Church. She was the first clerk there. She taught Sunday school. She came from Hayward AME in Gaston. So, you know, we're just talking about just family. She was a faithful member of the missionary. She was also a member of the choir. In her latter years, she joined her husband at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. So before she passed, she, you know, a lot of people, I know my parents were that way. A lot of, if you were with your home church, you stayed. Well, you went to your church, and then you and your husband went to the other church. So that's just the way it went, you know, but that doesn't mean that you can't make it work. Miss Annie was a beloved member of the Cayce community until she passed in 2016 at 95 years old. So, you know, see, this is history. This is why we do this. This is why we're putting it in a museum, so that we'll know all the many things and all the many people in our neighborhood. And we can keep doing it. We can keep doing it, and we can keep doing it. This is Annie Mae Williams Sultan, and I'd like to thank her granddaughters for putting this together. They've already decided who's coming up, so come on, let's get the plaque, y'all. I got it up here. Come on, get the plaque for Miss Annie Sultan. This is her grandson.
Oldest grandson.
The oldest grandson. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right over here by the flag. How many years in the Air Force, sir?
21 years, 1 month, 14 days.
And how many years did you do your as a contractor?
That was 12 and a half years.
In Dubai. So he is now back home, and he is now at the Sultan's Pond, continuing the legacy.
Our next one is Perfect Blend Barbershop, and I want y'all to know how long and how hard I've tried to get this posted. Okay, Perfect Blend Barbershop, located on 1824 Frank Street, Cayce, is owned by Abdul Johnson and opened in December 1998. Although he had worked at other barbershops after graduating from barber school, he decided to step out on faith and open his own barbershop at the age of 27. He realized that Cayce, West Columbia needed a consistently open shop, and he started off slowly, passing out cards at grocery stores and any place he could think of. Gradually, he developed a good customer base. At one point, Abdul has had 5 barbers with their own set of customers. One advantage that he had was that he has an instructor's license and is able to prepare and assist a barber to get their own license. The barbershop has always been a good place to find out what's going on in the neighborhood. The pandemic did cause a drop in business, but he has since been able to rebuild the base and make a living. Perfect Blend Barbershop, along with Perfect Blend Beauty Shop, are great supporters of the community. Abdul Johnson. You worked me on this one.
And I was going to let y'all know, I was 24 when I started, and December 98, yeah. Yeah, that's my fault. Yeah. Thank you.
Now, Elaine was a lot easier. Perfect Blend Blend Beauty Shop. In 2007, Elaine Lewis, the owner of Perfect Blend Beauty Shop, joined the barbershop at 1824 Frank Street. Originally from across South Carolina, Elaine moved to Cayce in 1991, where she was previously at 2 Frank Street locations. She has been established since 1994 and started with many members of the Cayce community, starting with the older family members, the Smiths, the Robinsons, the Tillmans, the Bates, etc., who brought their daughters, who in turn brought their daughters, and on through the generations. She started off specializing in waves and updos. While at the barber shop, to her customers, she has been a doctor, a lawyer, psychologist, even a babysitter, picking up children from school, whatever was needed. She retired from the shop in 2021 after some health challenges and is looking forward to coming back to her shop. Elaine Lewis.
Well, I'm here again. This time, we're talking about military service. And so we're going to have First Staff Sergeant Inez Renee Odom Baker, retired. So, as you can see, this is from her birth was 1961 to 2013. Inez R. Odom Baker had an outstanding military career, 26 years. She attended basic training at Fort Jackson, advanced individual training at Fort Gordon, Georgia. Baker assignment included, these are the following things: combat signal team chief, licensed practice nurse, chief ward master of the intensive care unit, platoon sergeant. Her career took her all over the United States and many countries such as Korea, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Afghanistan. As a Cayce resident, Renee attended Brooklyn Cayce High School, South Carolina State College, and Midlands Technical College. Renee was a great listener, mother of 2 sons, sister, friend, mentor, and a praying woman. First Staff Sergeant Inez Renee Odom Baker, retired. Would the family member please come so that we can give you that plaque for her service? Notice we have an occurring theme, and there's just different things. So there's just a whole lot of things that really happens in your family, and yeah, just be proud of those things. Be proud of what you do. Be proud of those children. Well, I'm up here again for another family member. This is Mr. Booker T. Sultan. I'll get it right. Booker T. Sultan. This is his sister. All right, now let me tell you about another business that the Sultans had in Cayce. Get my papers together. Last time y'all gonna see me up here. All righty. Does anybody remember the Blue Note Club? Come on, throw your hand up. Come on, throw your hand up. Yeah. Okay, Star Club and the Blue Note Club. Blue Note was first. Let's see what about the Blue Note Club. The property located on 1714 Middle Street in Cayce was purchased by Ruth Sultan Ward after 1952. In 1953, she built a house, and 8 months later, she built a building, which would later be called the Blue Note Club. I don't have to explain to some of you, but some of you I do have to explain, where there are places that we were not allowed to go. So we made sure we wanted to dance, we wanted to have a good time, so we had places that we went to, right in the neighborhood. Isn't that wonderful? Just right in the neighborhood. With her entrepreneur spirit and friendship ties to entertainers around the world, Blue Note Club became the home of well-known musicians, band, and vocalists. Well, I have to tell y'all, along with the Blue Note Club, they would go to the Salt and Pond. That was in the summertime. And then they could come to the Blue Note Club after they played somewhere in Columbia or someplace else. So there was a lot of performers. That's the way it used to do. I don't know it, but do anybody know about the Chitlins? The Chitlin, circuit, yeah. So that's how they did. Yeah, they played for someone and came here, but they wanted to play for their individuals and people that they loved. In '82, she partnered with the city of Cayce. Now, look what the Blue Note became. It became the Veterans of Foreign Wars. It opened, and it was named the Felton L. Ward, VFW, number 3695 post, and it honored Miss Ward's husband. And so that same property, the post would remain there for 20 years. It was remodeled in 2016 by her daughter, Miss Ward's daughter, Mayo Ward Dickerson, and her husband. Was established as now the Ruth S. Ward Community Center. Same building, same plot, same spot. Her goal was to honor her mother's legacy with a facility where the community could come together and fellowship as they had done many, many years ago. That address is 1714. It is still there. It is still viable. So when you have something, please, please keep it up. Pass it down. Is there someone who will be taking this for the Blue Note Club? The Blue Note Club here in Cayce. My husband's coming, because it was his aunt. It'll be all right. Her husband was here, and he said he had just gotten off, and he said, well, you know, can y'all get one of the family members or somebody? Because, you know, in Cayce, everybody's related to everybody. I'm coming now. This is my boss now. Blue Note Club. Thank you for your attention.
Nathaniel Snapper Washington. Lexington County resident Nathaniel Snapper Washington began his education at the St. Anne School and the Cayce Colored School. He became a skilled carpenter after attending the Voorhees Training School. He was a member of Mount Pisgah AME Church, where he was affiliated with the Brotherhood Club and the Willing Workers Club. In 1943, he was drafted into the U.S. Army and served in World War II in the 92nd Engineering Regiment. He was a decorated veteran, having received the World War II Victory Medal, the European Africa Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 2 bronze medals, the American Campaign Medal, the Good Conduct Medal, and the Honorable Service Lapel Button World War II. Nathaniel was a member of the Cayce VFW Post 3695 and employed for 33 years with Anchor Continental Company. His name is on the World War II memorial located at Brooklyn Cayce High School. He was married to the late Annie Mae Hickson and is the father of 7 children. And would one of the 2 who are present today please come and accept? Final honoree for the evening is the late Rosa Mae Bowman. In the heart of Cayce, Mrs. Rosa Mae Bowman, a venerable woman whose life unfolded like the pages of a cherished novel. Born in Tabernacle, South Carolina, she graduated from Tabernacle Elementary School and finished high school at Booker T. Washington. She witnessed the transformative years of the mid-20th century, growing up in a small town that thrived on close-knit relationships and shared values. She became an integral part of the fabric of Cayce, contributing not only through her 6 children and husband, the late Bill Bowman, but also fostering a sense of unity among neighbors and the community. She worked for over 30 years at Kmart in Cayce with a friendly face and a warm spirit. Despite her life's hardships, she remained an active participant in the lives of her family and community. She was a mother and a licensed minister of Mount Pleasant Baptist Church of Cayce and gave her initial sermon at the beautiful age of 93. As the years had advanced, her home had become a gathering place for stories, fellowship, and laughter. Mrs. Bowman embodied the spirit of strength that will continue to define her legacy in the lives of her family and the Cayce community. I don't believe she has any family members present, so we will have one of her church members accept on her behalf.
We would like to thank everyone that came out tonight to celebrate our Legends of 2025. The Legends of 2026 are listed on the plaque at the table. A legend is a person, place, or event that we all grew up with. The legends are posted during Friday, Black History, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Black History Month, February, on the Cayce Historical Museum social media pages. This is a chance to especially show our seniors, which I call our jewels of the neighborhood, what they mean to us just being themselves. We have been thankful to have spotlighted many before they passed. If you have a legend that you would like posted next February, you can contact any member of the African American Committee or Andy Thomas of the museum. We would like to have all the postings by December. I also want to thank all of the committee members for your hard work. Some of us. And right now, we're going to close out our program. There's some cake and punch for everyone. And I'll turn it over to Andy.
And I don't have much to say except thank you for coming out this evening. And like Yvonne said, we got a reception table out there with some punch and cake, and we invite you to come partake of that. And we hope you have a really good evening. So thanks, folks, for coming out.